So funny thing about this movie, the first time I tried to see it, the file that the theater had was corrupted. I guess it was beyond their power to fix it. But anyway, Star Trek Beyond, the third movie in the J.J. Abrams series of Star Trek movies. It takes place in the middle of their 5-year mission, and while at a giant space station called Yorktown, which I guess is like the Federation's embassy in space, they respond to a ship that's in distress and the pilot has her crew taken to this planet. So Kirk's crew agrees to help, and when the Enterprise arrives, it's attacked. There's these hundreds of ships swarming around it and basically destroying the Enterprise, which they love to do in these movies. Luckily, most of the crew, at least the important crew members, escape to the planet. So their goal is to find each other on the planet because they're scattered, and then find a way off and warn the Federation of this new enemy that is from this planet. This is the first new Star Trek film that is not directed by J.J. Abrams. It's actually directed by Justin Lin. And you can kind of tell because there are not as many lens flares in this movie as there are in the first two. And it's partly written by Simon Pegg, which you can also tell because Scotty has a lot of screen time in this. And Scotty is paired up with a new character named Jayla, who is pretty cool. She's not like the greatest character, but I mean, she's alright. And Spock is probably the Spockiest he's ever been in these movies in this one. And he's paired up with Bones, and their dynamic is really fun. And that's really the strongest part of this movie, the character interactions that they have with one another. It feels very episodic, like it's in the middle of a Star Trek series. Unfortunately, the villain is pretty weak. It's played by Idris Elba, but he's very underutilized. Other than that, I think this is probably my favorite out of the 3 new Star Trek films that there are. But somehow it still feels like there's something missing from it. I don't like Star Trek as much as other sci-fi franchises, so maybe it's just me. Maybe if they had something a little extra in there they could have improved on, then it would have been a greater film. But what it is just a good Star Trek film. And they do have a tribute to Leonard Nimoy, which I thought they handled really well. They actually show a photo of the old crew, and that was really nice. And there's also the thing with Sulu having a husband, which I didn't really get the controversy over because it's very, very quick. It's like the Finding Dory lesbian couple. Like, they don't even show it that long, so like, what's the problem? They don't even mention the fact that Sulu has a husband. They just show it very quickly, and then we move on. I don't know much about Star Trek characters, so maybe somebody can explain to me why people are angry at it, but for me, I didn't care. So anyway, if you've seen Star Trek Beyond, tell me what you thought down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to take